Today, I'm going to share a handful of things that I wish I could have told myself years ago when Real Broker was an even newer company. Because to be completely honest, my only regret that I have about joining Real Broker, well, it's not for everyone. My personal only regret is that I didn't join sooner. So today, I'm going to share a handful of reasons why I just said I will never, ever, ever, ever join a cloud-based broker. So if you're new here, welcome. My name's Mariah, and I'm a real estate agent in the beautiful state of Oregon. If you have a client relocating to Oregon, send them my way. I'd love to give you a referral fee. I got my real estate license back in 2015. A couple years after getting licensed, my husband quit his job and joined me, and we have been a husband and wife real estate team ever since. And we were with the same real estate company or brokerage my entire career, our entire career, his entire career, and we always said, we will never switch brokerages, which we've done lots of videos about this. I don't want to be redundant, so I'm not going to get into that. Head over to my channel. I have an entire playlist talking all about that. But we said we'd never switch brokerages, but we also said we will never ever join a cloud-based brokerage. I had a whole list of reasons why it just wouldn't work for me and was going to be a very bad decision. And I'm going to share with you guys what that list was. And now it's been almost a year since I joined Real Broker. So I'm going to share that list, and I'm going to share like honest review, I guess you could say, of Real Broker a year later. What are my thoughts on all of these hangups, all of these things that I just couldn't get over about joining a cloud-based brokerage or just switching brokerages in general. We're going to see like, what is my honest opinion now after being there for a year? Has it changed? Has it not changed? We're going to get into that. I have my almond milk matcha latte. Grab your beverage of choice. And if you are somebody who is considering joining Real Broker, I have Zoom conversations all the time with agents all over the country who are in that position. I love it. If that's you, don't hesitate to reach out. Let's get a Zoom call on the schedule. I would love to answer your questions about Real and just see if it might be a good fit for you or not. Okay, so let me just take a swiggy swag. All right, so these are the reasons why I said I will never, ever join a cloud-based brokerage. Okay, the first reason is inputting listings into the MLS. Back when I decided I wanted to get my real estate license, I was still in high school. It was my senior year of high school, and I started working at a real estate brokerage. I would take like half the day off school as a senior and spend half of the second half of the day at this real estate brokerage working at the front desk. And one of my tasks at this job was to input listings at the MLS. But that is the last time that I have ever inputted listings into the MLS. I know many agents that I talk to, this is just part of their, part of the job. They input the listings when they take a new listing, they input it themselves into the multiple listing services, and it's no big deal. But for me, it seemed like a big deal because at the brokerage that I was with previously, all we had to do was just send in our paperwork to like the front desk, whatever, and they would get everything on the MLS for us. We didn't have to touch it like back end wise. So this was honestly a little intimidating. I figured I'm paying for this. I'm paying more in brokerage fees, a lot more. And this is part of what I'm paying for is having this type of service, someone inputting my listing for me into the MLS. So what is my honest opinion about this? Has it changed? So when my husband and I joined Real Broker, we actually ended up hiring a transaction coordinator, which I don't know why we didn't do this sooner in our business, but joining this brokerage was really something that just pushed us to do it. One of the reasons was because our transaction coordinator will input our listings for us into the MLS. So because of this, I still don't have to input listings myself into the MLS. We pay, I believe it's $450 for listings per transaction, which comes out of the sale at closing. So you're not even paying like a monthly, fee or anything like that for a transaction coordinator. And for buyers, I want to say it's like $350 a transaction. I literally don't even check. It just happens. We send everything to her. She handles it. It's amazing. Yes, I'm paying for a transaction coordinator now, which is a very small, inexpensive fee. Even though I'm paying for a transaction coordinator now and I didn't pay for one at my previous brokerage, I am still saving so much money just being at Real Broker because there's no monthly fees, the split, the cap, everything is just so much more desirable that it definitely is worth it. The second reason why I never wanted to join a cloud-based brokerage was there's no sign guy. You're your own sign guy. How it worked at my previous brokerage, by the way, I was with a big like franchise brick and mortar style brokerage. So I think many of them are probably run the same way. How it worked there was I would just walk into the office or email them, turn in a slip or send them an email and say, I would like a sign to go up at this address or even, they'd put my lockbox on for me, that kind of thing. So that's another thing. I was like, I don't want to be putting a big sign into the yard. That's just not something that sounds very appealing to me, especially when a lot of my listings are not necessarily like super close to where I live, if that makes sense. So my honest opinion, my honest thoughts on this 1 year later, that is a downside of not being at a big brick and mortar brokerage. You don't have a sign guy. I actually do have a sign guy because my husband and I are a real estate team. So he is now my sign guy. He just drove my sign to a listing and put it in for me yesterday, which I'm really grateful for, but not everyone's going to have that. So yes, you do put in your yard signs, but honestly, for how much money you're saving, it's definitely worth it. I know another thing for me is that starting out in real estate when I was a new agent, the majority of my business was listings because I got my business from cold calling. I hated buyers, didn't want to work with them, thought they were a waste of time, didn't even honestly feel very comfortable with like the buyer side of the transaction just because I was so used to just listing. And now it's funny because I love working with buyers. I have a definite newfound love for working with them because of how we get our business has changed through video marketing and all of that. And I absolutely do love it. So because of that, I'm not even like driving out there putting out as many signs as I used to anyway. So it's definitely not that big of a deal for me. The next reason why I said I would never join a cloud-based brokerage was because I don't know the systems like uploading documents and whatnot. Like I said, I was used to just sending in my paperwork to the front desk at my office and they took care of everything. They did all the back end work, that type of thing. When you join Real Broker, you get your own app. And this app makes everything just so easy. You can see like how much money you've made this year. You can see how how close you are to reaching your cap. You can see like so many different things. It just makes things so streamlined and easy. It's all like right there in front of you, easily accessible. To be completely honest, I never learned Real Broker's systems for uploading documents, for submitting, paperwork, that kind of thing, working with transactions, because again, that's something that our transaction coordinator does. What we did when we were looking to hire a transaction coordinator is we were looking for somebody who specifically knew Real, who already worked with other agents at Real Broker. And we wanted somebody who was who knew the systems at Real Broker so they didn't have that learning curve as well. So I don't have to think about it. That's just another thing I don't know how to do and I don't need to know how to do because that's what our transaction coordinator is hired for. So that's my honest review of what that part of our business is like 1 year later. The next reason why I said I would never switch real estate brokerages was my brand. I didn't have that big franchise brand that everyone knew behind me. And let me tell you, I was definitely wrong. This was something that going into it, like honestly, when my husband and I switched our license over initially last year to Real Broker. At first, we didn't quite know what to expect. When we first joined Real, we still weren't sure if this was going to affect our business or not. We just switched anyway. And I can honestly say 1 year later, not having a franchise brand behind us has not affected our business one bit. I think that in 2024, real estate agents are really focusing on marketing themselves and not just writing on their brokerage's branding. And to be quite honest, I don't think that people really care what real estate brokerage you're with anymore. I think that's a thing of the past. I know especially like millennial, Gen Z, people that you're working with, like clients that you're working with, they don't know what any of these real estate brokerages are. It's not the 80s where agents are just sitting in the office waiting for somebody to come in and like take a sign call, like take a floor call, or like have someone just walk in and talk to you about selling their house. Like things don't run that way anymore. And because of that, I just personally can say I have not had an issue with not having a big franchise brand behind me. So the next reason why I said I will never, ever, ever switch brokerages is because my husband and I used to genuinely talk about this often. You get what you pay for, which I still do believe in life. You get what you pay for most of the time. However, This did not apply to our real estate brokerage. When we were at our previous brokerage, we always thought we have the best CRM system. We have the best technology that the real estate world has to offer. We have a great brand behind us. We have our office, does a lot for us, as in, the sign guy and whatever, like putting listings into the MLS. We really, really thought that. And we just kept telling ourselves, like, you get what you pay for. So if we were at a brokerage where we kept 100% of our commission or didn't have monthly fees, like at Real Broker, once you cap, you don't pay you pay 100%. You keep 100% once you cap, but not before you cap. But we would just keep telling ourselves that, like, you get what you pay for, so we wouldn't have these services and we would have to hire someone to do it anyway. And that it hasn't been the case for us, to be honest. And as far as technology goes, Real Broker has the best technology I've ever seen in the real estate industry. What I thought was good technology before, I had literally no idea. This technology is unmatched. The CRM system that we use, it's called Loft. It's either Lofty or Loftly. Let me know in the comments which one it is. It used to be Chime. It is the best CRM system I've ever seen. It's usually over $500 a month. At Real Broker, we get it for, I believe, $40 a month. It's not something you have to pay for, but if you want to, and I don't see why you wouldn't want to, you get to take advantage of it. And it has been so amazing getting to take advantage of this CRM system for our clients, past clients, all of that. But yeah, you get what you pay for. We didn't get that at our last brokerage, that's for sure. The next reason I said I will never join a cloud-based brokerage is because I thought cloud-based brokerages were all MLMs. Basically, the way that I see it is this allows you to have a lot of the benefits of having a team, or like an extension of your team, without actually having to have a team. You get to be the point of contact for other agents. You get to be a resource for them, someone to cheer them on, answer their questions whenever they have them. And in return, you get a piece of their commission until they cap. This benefits the person who joins Real because they have access to someone who's willing to help them. And it benefits you who is having people join you because you get to help people and do what you likely are doing already, having, relationships with other agents all across the country, something I've always done in my business anyway, and you actually get to get paid for it. The next reason I said I would never join a cloud-based brokerage was not having an office to go to. Mainly that was for storage reasons. Honestly, because not that we don't have room in our house necessarily to put our real estate stuff, we just didn't want to. It's not very aesthetic. I mean, it's like big file cabinets and paperwork. Like, it's just not stuff. It takes up a lot of space, and it's just not stuff that we necessarily want to really have taking up a bunch of space in our house. So I enjoyed having a private office space at my previous brokerage to keep stuff in that was real estate related. However, what we've done is we created a little corner in our garage, does not even take up that much room. There's just a little table in there, and it has like a ton of paperwork, just real estate type things, that kind of thing. And lock boxes, that kind of thing. I've really found that. Also, I was kind of hoarding a lot of stuff like in my office. I didn't need all the things that I thought I did. I don't need that much space as I thought I did to run my business smoothly. Another thing was I was worried, what do I do if I don't have a printer? Well, we went out and we bought ourselves a printer. We went out and bought a $900 like heavy duty printer that it'll scan to your email. It's super fancy, does so many things. You do not need to go buy a printer that's that expensive. I think it's a great investment if you plan to be in real estate long term, which you should. I know you can find a printer for like $80 and it should do the job for you. The last reason I said I would never join a cloud-based brokerage is because of not being able to have somewhere to meet my clients with in person. And to be honest, my business has really changed. Like I said earlier, I used to work with a lot of like for sale by owners, expired listings, that kind of thing. And now I work with a lot of relocation buyers. And because of this, I'm not really meeting with them in person much anyway. I'm doing Zoom consultations. And I just really haven't, even my husband who works with a lot more clients in person than I do, hasn't found this to be a problem. Again, this could be a personal preference, but it really hasn't affected our business personally. Now, I know Real Broker is not going to be for everyone. So a lot of those things that I just shared with you, they were loopholes in my mind that I like really used as a reason why I would never switch brokerages, especially to a cloud-based one. And I am so grateful that I did a year later. All those things that I thought were going to be like huge issues, ruining my business, they are literally like every one of those problems has been solved and is not a big deal like I thought it would be. But maybe some of those things are going to be deal breakers for you, and Real Broker just isn't the best fit for you. But I hope that now that you've listened to this video, you have a little bit more clarity as to if it is or not. And if you still want more information on Real Broker, I have an entire playlist where I share everything you need to know about joining, more about why I personally joined, pros and cons, the commission splits, caps, fees, all of that. I will put a link to that playlist in the description, or you can find it on my channel. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. I come on here every week with new videos, and I'll see you next time.